Hey there. Okay, so today we're going to practice prepping lunches for the family for the week. My teenagers constantly want to eat out. I don't mind as long as they earn the money, but I also don't want them to think that that's a lifestyle they can sustain every day. Plus, they're athletes and they need way more calories than I do. So how do I go about prepping lunch for myself and them throughout the week? My husband's a FedEx driver, so his lunch is a little bit different because he doesn't have a way to heat it. But the boys have a way to heat theirs. Their school actually has microwaves available for student use. And in my classroom, I have a microwave, so we can easily prep lunches for them. Before I do that, let's take a look at how I did just a couple steps. Okay, so sometimes we just don't have time to do it all. What if we can't chop the veggies? What if we just run out of time? What if we just need to quickly meal prep? Not a huge deal. So I've got modular sheet pans here from Pampered Chef. And then I've got a half sheet pan. I actually have one from Pampered Chef coming, but this is an oldie but a goodie. It's one of my older ones. It's American made. You can see it's well seasoned. That's not a huge deal. I'm prepping both mine and my boys' lunch. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just going to cut this cauliflower. It is a steamable pouch too, but I don't like the moisture content. So I'm just gonna dump that in there, break up some of that. Again, these are all frozen. And I'm gonna sprinkle just a bit of olive oil on that. Okay. And a little bit of blackened seasoning. It's not a huge deal, it's just blackened seasoning. It's very good. It's just a great generic, fits multiple flavor profiles. And there's that. And I'm just gonna toss it all around. I've just got the mini mixer here. Perfect. So that it gets nice and evenly coated a little bit. Okay, there's that. Now, all of my kids like different things. So that's why we're using the modular sheet pans. This is going to be my lunch as well as my boys' lunch. My lunch, my needs are lower carbs, lower calories. I'm in my late 30s. Being in your late 30s is like being a teenager again. Nothing fits. Your body's weird. Your acne comes back. No one tells you that. It's great. So my teenagers though, they're both athletes and they need like 4,000 calories a day because they play like 7 days a week. So we all have very different dietary needs. So this is just a quick way to prep for all of us. Again, I'm just gonna kind of rotate it, toss it around. This looks full now, but once it gets warm, it's gonna cook down really, really lovely. So that was just frozen green peppers. Pepper strips, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Broccoli florets. Again, everybody likes something a little bit different. These have been in the freezer for a hot minute, but that's okay. They'll still cook the same. They need to be used. No big deal. Same deal. There's that. Okay. Same seasoning. I'm actually gonna make it go just a little bit faster. There we go. And I'm actually gonna use my hands just to toss that around because it's so bulky. All right, now I have this stir-fry vegetable blend that my son really prefers. So modular sheet pan time. I'm actually going to just put these here like that. And again, it's okay to fill the pan without like spreading it out a ton, just because the bulk of these vegetables is gonna go down. And the point is to cook them, not to serve them as a roasted side dish. They're gonna be combined with other things. If you were making a side dish, you would definitely wanna spread them out more thin, but we don't. The point here is that we're just cooking these guys in a way that's going to take up most of the water out of them, so they're not soggy, and to keep a little bit of that fibrous integrity so they don't get weird. Now, I'm just gonna coat the top really, really, really good. And I'm not gonna worry about mixing that one just because it's so bulky. Okay, so I'm gonna pop that in the oven until I'm good and ready to use it. I'm not gonna worry about as much if it's quote unquote done, because I think the vegetables don't have to be completely done. Plus they're going to be reheated later when we reheat our lunches during the week. So for now, we're just gonna go pop those in the oven and move on to our next step. Okay, now I like to go with the things that take the most time to the least amount of time. So I'm gonna measure out 2 cups of rice and 4 cups of bone broth, because the ratio is a 2-to-1 ratio for the rice for the boys. So 2 cups of rice, and then we need 4 cups of bone broth. So I just get my bone broth in bulk. I get the rice in bulk. As you can see, it lasts at least a month. Now I could do this, or I could use my batter, my classic batter bowl to measure. Either one is fine. I like the smaller units because I feel like they're a little more precise. Because I really just feel like that would be better. Okay, so I'm gonna cover that, and I'm gonna pop it on the stove in just a second to simmer away and cook the rice. The next thing I'm going to do, actually while I'm still cutting and measuring and mixing, is I'm going to use my Pampered Chef microwave bowl. And here's where my diet comes in. Again, we all have different dietary needs. I actually am going to use a little bit of quinoa for my carbs, because I do love my carbs, but let's make a smarter carb choice here. So again, that ratio is 2-to-1. I'm actually not gonna do as much as the boys, obviously. So I am gonna use bone broth instead of water. Whoops. All right, we've spilled, but no biggie. Again, I am gonna use the bone broth instead of the water. I'll clean this up in just a second. And I'm gonna pop that in the microwave for actually about 10 minutes and then check it and put it in longer if I need to. And we'll see how that goes. The quinoa will keep, the rice is gonna take a hot minute to cook, but not a big deal. So this clicks on this right here, this little vent right here. It keeps it in case it boils over right in here, and then it can drain. The older model of the rice cooker didn't have that, and there wasn't a ton of boil over, but there was a little bit, and it could get really starchy if you were making like noodles or rice. So I really like the newer feature where it just feeds it right back into the bowl and prevents that from happening. So I'm gonna pop that rice on the stove. I'm gonna pop my quinoa in the microwave and move on to our next step. Okay, so I have here 1.5 pounds of ground pork and 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I measured those myself, and we had a pig butchered, and we've got some leftover cow. So they're both lean, pretty organic, no hormones or antibiotics, and that's probably the most effective way to buy meat for an entire family. So before I put this in the skillet though, I actually wanted to show you something really cool. I got the DOLLY Parton Edition Lodge skillet. As you can see, it's hot because I have it preheated, but I just wanted to show you that because it brings me joy. Most of you know in our family, we love DOLLY, and actually so much so that when my daughter is granted a Make-A-Wish, she wished to meet DOLLY Parton. So that's gonna happen in 2025, pretty exciting. Anyway, so I have 1.5 pounds of ground pork sausage. And this has been preheating for a good amount of time, just so that it's nice and sizzly. And then I turned it, before I even started that, I turned it to like medium low, just to keep the temperature nice and consistent. Now you could do all pork or all sausage, but I just kind of chose to do it this way. I can tell by the seasoning, this looks like it's Italian sausage, which is perfect. If you ended up with something more savory, that's fine too. If I had a mix and chop, I would totally be using it right now. But I'm gonna just show you the versatility of all the other tools today. So I'm gonna let this go ahead and brown up. No big deal. I'm just gonna add some salt, pepper, and probably some garlic to this meat mixture until it's all nice and browned and the pork is cooked through thoroughly. So that's one of the stages in our meal that we're just gonna cook through. When you see this all come together at the end, you are gonna be as excited as I am. Okay, we're back. As you can see, I have everything all done and laid out. The rice has been parboiled. It's ready to go. The quinoa literally took about 10 minutes in the microwave. You know it's done because quinoa has these little fibrous, I call them tails, but they're these little fibrous things that begin to separate from the actual quinoa itself. Quinoa is a little bit more carb heavy than you would normally think if you were eating a low carb diet. However, it's also very, very good for you and has some hidden protein and all of the things. Both of these have been cooked in bone broth, as you saw a little bit earlier. I have my 3 pounds of meat. It's a mix of ground beef and sausage because that's what I had. And I have all the veggies that we discussed earlier. So I'm gonna make one of each. And then once I have all of mine assembled for the week, I'm actually gonna show you where the fun begins. But first, let's assemble mine and my boys's. Just one of each. So I'll start with mine. These have been on the counter. I don't care if they're cold because they're gonna get frozen anyway. So I'm gonna just start by putting in some of my riced cauliflower, just like that, and a small scoop of my quinoa, just like that. Perfect. Again, it's not much just because it's not the bulk of my meal. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of my peppers, just like that. A little bit of my broccoli, perfecto, just a little scoop of those. And then I actually have already pre-measured the meat so that I know an even scoop and a half is about 3 ounces. I have that pretty much down to a science after, you know, kind of all this time of meal prepping. So a little scoop and a half is about 3 ounces. And that is mine all assembled. It's mostly veggies and a little bit of quinoa and a little bit of cauliflower. For the boys, they get the luxury of needing the carbs, and boy do they. So we're gonna take a heaping spoonful of this rice, put it in there. It is parboiled, so you can probably hear it kind of hit the bottom a little bit. That's okay, because they're gonna heat it up and you don't want it to be soggy. And then we're gonna take a couple scoops of these veggies, just like this. Yep, and these are just the stir fry veggies from Costco. I let them pick it out, like what are you willing to eat? And that's what they chose. And then again, 1.5 scoops of this. So if I wanted to double their calorie intake, which I could, if I wanted to double their calorie intake, I could do twice as much. But I actually want to get about 10 servings out of the boys' portion. Actually might double it, we'll see. I want to get about 10 servings out of the boys' portion ideally. I might go down to 5 just because that doesn't look like it's going to fill up a teenage boy. But that's okay. This is more than enough for me, so it's fine. So once I have these filled, we're going to come right back here and you're going to see where all of the fun begins, where we don't feel like we're eating the same thing every single week. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so these have all been portioned out. As you can see for the boys', which is on the front row, I did decide to go with the 5 servings instead of the 10. I did the calorie analysis on these, and what we have for mine, we are looking at 23 grams of carbs, but they're veggie carbs. So that's different than if I ate a bunch of sliced bread and all of the things. I mean, they're veggie carbs. Really the only carb thing in there is quinoa, and it equates to maybe, gosh, I did a cup of quinoa, 20%, so 0.2% of a cup cooked. So it's not really that much as far as carbs go. So most of these are veggie carbs. Mine has about 300 calories for the lunch and 24 grams of protein. And like I said, it is about 23 grams of carbs, but they're veggie carbs. For the boys is, with everything calculated out, we're looking at about 700 calories because I did combine those, and 46 grams of protein and 48 grams of carbs. So I just plugged in, because I measured everything so well, I just took like the package, like 14 ounces of peppers, and I plugged that into my recipe. And then I did like, you know, and I just went list by list and put how much I did, and then 5 servings. And that's how I was able to calculate that out. I just used my FitnessPal to do that. But for the kiddos, they really need good nutrition. Like most kids today, they are a little bit addicted to junk food in spite of my best efforts. So we got veggies we all like. It was easy peasy. As you see, if I prep in bulk, it's not a big deal. Let's see, it's 12:22. I started at about 11:15, so it took me just a little over an hour to bulk prep 10 lunches. So here's where the fun begins though. I have all these condiments to choose from. Now, condiments are where the fun begins. Move these back here. These are just the little hefty to-go containers from Costco, and they are recyclable, and they can be used multiple times. So if the kids remember to bring them back, great. If they don't, no harm, no foul. So getting those out of the way though, I have just a bunch of stuff here. I've got like honey hot barbecue. I have like chicken sauce. We got some creamy roasted garlic sauce. I splurged last time I was at Grocery Outlet, and this is the white cheddar truffle mac and cheese seasoning, so you can make your own mac and cheese like sauce. I've got, let's see, aardvark chipotle habanero sauce. I've got a little bit of salsa, teriyaki sauce, some like Jeff Dunham peanut tropical heat. So we just have a bunch of sauces. Oh, and I got like Jose jalapeno on a stick hot sauce. So just a bunch of sauces to make sure that we don't feel like we're eating the same thing every day. The boys specifically, they wanted some barbecue sauce. So we're gonna go barbecue, and I'm just gonna be really generous with that, just like that. They also enjoy the chicken sauce quite a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and just squirt that on there. And I'm probably gonna put a little bit of the creamy garlic sauce on there also, just to make it go just a little bit further. There we go. Okay, and then while I'm doling things out, I'm actually gonna get myself some creamy garlic sauce also. And probably use some of my mac and cheese mix here that I've already prepared. I'm gonna just ladle some in here. That'll go really nice. It's that truffle-y flavor, which is really, really, really nice. No one else in my family likes truffle, but I do quite a bit. So it's one way I can treat myself is during lunchtime to put that on there. Let's see what else we might want to do. Ooh, let's do like a Mexican theme. So we've got chipotle habanero sauce for them. Okay, some of that. Okay, we've got room for some more fun here. Okay, let's put some peanut, tropical heat, a little bit of Jose jalapeno on a stick on this one. Perfect, okay. Nice. And maybe finish it up with a little bit of just cumin to give it that really good flavor. Perfect. Okay, and then I think we'll do some teriyaki sauce on one of these. We did use stir-fry noodles after all, or stir-fry veggies after all. So we're just gonna like douse this in teriyaki sauce. Make sure it's got plenty of moisture. There we go. Give it some of that Asian fusion. And then actually at Cup Bop, where we like to eat, they put some like other creamy sauce. I'm gonna do some of the creamy roasted garlic sauce. It really doesn't taste like anything. It just tastes like creamy garlic sauce. It tastes a little bit like if you were to have mayonnaise and garlic and some other mystery ingredient. It's actually pretty good. I don't really like condiments a ton, but I do like this. So that's a thing. Okay. And then let's see what else. Should we do? Let's do another honey barbecue sauce, because they were really excited about picking out this barbecue. Except this barbecue, let's shake it up a little bit. let's add some Jose jalapeno to it. All right, perfect. And there we have it. Okay, so the boys is all done. We've got barbecue, we've got creamy chicken sauce, which will be really yummy. I'm gonna make sure to get the air out of that as I press it down. And then these we're just gonna go into our deep freeze so that they can be grabbed and taken for lunch every single day. And that's how we do that. Mine will be really similar. The only difference is I'll probably add some truffle hot sauce to some of mine instead of the Jeff Dunham sauce. Just because, again, your girl loves truffle. So if I wanted to, I could probably add some cheese to some of these profiles and it would taste really, really yummy. So I might go back and do that too. But for now you've seen how we do our bulk lunch prep, and I'm gonna finish mine. But from my kitchen to yours, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and check the comments or the description for the links on some of the things that I've used today. Bye. Bye.